down, please? Just it looks a bit tidier. Thank you. Thank you. Hi everyone, thank you for joining us. We have Owen Farrell, England captain, and Steve Borthwick, England head coach. We'll come to the floor for questions. James, we'll come to you first. Thank you.
Steve, positives there?
I think there was certainly positive steps forward, some small steps forward. I think, and credit to the players for working really hard to make those improvements. We're trying to rebuild this team, and I think we've took some steps forward in that regard over these first few weeks. Playing to improve upon. I thought ultimately, I think we left some chances out there. I think our ruck speed could have been better. I think you saw it was recognisable when our ruck speed went up. We stressed the defence more. When our ruck speed slowed down, we didn't. So I think we've got to make sure we're consistent improvement in that regard. And ultimately, again, we conceded some opportunities to the opposition late in the game. And we'll have a good look at why, because that's 2 weeks running now. We were in a winning position late in the game last week and didn't let it slip. So we'll have a good look at that and make sure we're better for that in our next game.
Jack Willis, 2 years on from that career-threatening injury. How pleased are you?
Really pleased for him and his family. He's been through a lot. The injury, yes. And also this last year where he's had to leave the club that he grew up at and had to move overseas and take on just playing a different competition. And I've been really impressed with him from the first moment I took this role in how desperate he is to play for England. So really pleased for him. I think you see that back row as a really competitive area of our squad. And I think for me that importance of the selection of which players, the right players to start a game, which players the right guys to come on off the bench, and all the other players in that area to support them to be the best they can be.
And similarly, Ollie Lawrence, David Welsh, and performed again. He's also had a tough season with Worcester. How pleased were you with the character he shot?
Well, I think he's been in tremendous form in the Premiership and European rugby, and as we have discussed, the importance of our competition, our domestic competition, to recognise that and see players that are playing well, that push their case to earn their selection in England. It's exactly what I said to him, that he's earned the selection, and I asked him to play with the manner, the strengths that he's shown week in, week out playing for Bath, and I think he did that today.
And has he shown he could fill Manu Tuolangi's boots for so long England has been reliant on Tuolangi to do that?
I think he did the job that the team needed of him today in the game plan against that opposition, and he did that really well. The next game's a different game.
And overall, how pleased with the new look midfield with Owen at 10? Is that something you're going to stick with?
I think we took some steps forward today. I think you start seeing. I thought Maro Itoje's performance stepped up today. I thought Ollie Chesham was stronger today. I think there's a player like Lewis Ludlam who often kind of goes under the radar the way he plays. But I thought he was magnificent. So I could list through the number of players, and I think that's a really important thing to recognise, because I think you're starting to see the players starting to perform, starting to play well, and I think we've got lots of growth there. Because as I said, we're rebuilding. We're rebuilding this team, and I've asked the players to embrace a different way of doing things. I've asked the players to embrace a certain way of playing as we start to build the base of our game plan. And I'm really grateful to the players for doing that.
Owen, nice to be back at 10.
I think that the most important thing is the steps forward. I think we were obviously spent another week together, and in that week we wanted to make sure that we've got better. And I think coming back again to Twickenham against an Italian team that's been flying recently, and to take a couple of steps forward off the back of last weekend was good, yeah.
Russ, we'll come to you, thanks.
Steve, quick word if we can on Henry Arundel. We know about his brilliance, his potential to come on and get that try, bodes hopefully very well for the future.
Well, I thought you saw the way Alex Mitchell linked with him so well for that. You saw the strengths of those players, and we discussed that earlier on this week. So I was really pleased for those guys. who've not necessarily been in England shirt for a little bit of period of time for one or two reasons. Again, and I emphasise this, I ask players to play a certain role for the team, and that's something that's new to the players. And I thought that every one of them embraced that this week.
And next up, I appreciate you just come off the field, but to test what you're doing, the improvements that you're making away for the first time in a place like Wales, just for the next fortnight, how exciting and galvanising is that?
Well, I think this is a really exciting period, and your sense is we were driving in on the bus today, and just the rows of supporters as we're coming round the corner, and I can't be thankful enough to our supporters, who I think have been terrific. I think the supporters understand. As I was walking around Richmond this morning, because we were staying at a hotel there, people stopped us on the street, and they were absolutely understanding of how much work we've got to do, and we're excited, looking forward to coming to Twickenham this afternoon, and really encouraged by signs they saw last week, and I hope having them come and watch that game, they'll go away more encouraged that this is a team that's going to work for them. It's going to be a team that they can be proud of.
And you've talked obviously a lot about establishing an England DNA again. The catch and drive is one example today. How pleased were you that a lot of what you're working on is clearly now coming off in a game situation?
Yeah, well, I think, and I sat probably in this chair about 7 weeks ago, was it? Maybe it was 8 now. And I said that we've got lots to improve upon, lots to get to work on, and one of them was definitely the set piece. And I think you saw some development in our scrum last week. I think you've seen some development in the maul today. But even then, we still got turned over in one more. And that last scrum, well, that shouldn't happen. That shouldn't happen, the way that last scrum was. So let me be clear, we've got a lot. I'm pleased. I'm really proud of the players, and I think they've worked really hard. But we've got to be better than that.
I know, and just finally on that regard, please, as skipper, where do you assess England are at now in this relatively short time, and particularly with Wales in mind and going there in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, we were just talking about it in the change room. More so the fact that we've took a step forward a week on, and we've got a couple of weeks now in prep, and we've got in a tough tournament. It feels like you've got a lot of time to get better in yourselves, and we'll be looking as soon as we meet up to take another step forward and really make sure that we're as well prepared as we can be going into Wales. But yeah, it's a pleasing step forward for us. But it's an exciting place to be because there's so much work to do as well.
Thanks. Yep, Nick will come to you.
Steve, how's
Yeah, he's got a cut, and I think he might get a din nose like mine, and so, but no, he's got a cut. It's okay. I think a wound that got stitched up, and he'll be fine.
frustrating one to come off for, isn't it? I guess for anyone in that situation. But he and the other type 5 guys went really well.
Yeah, and I think you see Kyle. He's credit to him. I've been really impressed with his physical prep that he's arrived in camp with, and 3 weeks ago when he arrived, I think he's putting a lot of work, and I think he's starting to see the fruits of that on the pitch.
Steve, you said you've been asking the players to do new things and challenging them to do different things. What is it specifically do you think that's so different from what they were doing before?
Well, I think the important thing to talk about now is we're in a situation where we're in a competition, and you see the games yesterday. These are the high quality games. These teams have been preparing. This is the final year of a 4-year plan. You use the 4 years really well. You're just putting the finishing touches to it. Selections, pretty much, what the selections are. The players start getting the caps under the belt, so then they're arriving at the World Cup with the right number of caps. You've spent that many games together as a coaching team, as a player group. We're not in that situation. So I'm asking the players, the way we train, the way we play, the way we approach our off-field preparation is that we're maximising every minute that we possibly can, because we have to. And the players have embraced that, and I'm grateful to them, because when you ask people to do something different, it can be a bit uncomfortable, and they've just embraced it.
Owen, how was it with the partnership with the midfield trio? where the Molly's performance did a lot of hard carrying people.
Yeah, I thought Ollie did a really good job. He played the way that he's been playing for his club. He's destructive. I remember playing against him at the start of the season against Saracens at our place, and he was holding the ball in one hand, batting everyone off like they weren't there. So it was good to see him. It was good to see him break the line today and really getting us on the front foot. And good to have Slady back after a week or two out. Yeah, as I said before, it feels like it feels good, the performance, because it felt like we took a step forward. And as I said, the exciting bit now is we've got a week together. Or we've got a week together leading up into the test week going forward to Wales. So we'll be looking to take another step in that week.
Wales have had a difficult couple of results, but I'm assuming you're not underestimating what's coming for you with Birmingham, Cardiff and the Warren.
No, I've never played an easy game in Wales. No. We'll obviously look at this first and see where we can be better, and we'll, as I said, we'll come together and see where we can improve and get after that. But we know it's always going to be a tough game there.
Thanks. We'll come to Neil and then to Martin. Thank you.
Well, I think the first thing, and I've said this all along, is I want the supporters, whether it's here at Twickenham or the ones travelling wherever we play, to be proud of their team, and I also the team needs to build a different way of needs to build the right tactical plan within a game. Now, you're playing against an Italy team today we saw are tremendously dangerous in space. You see the speed they have, the way they could play, speed of ball. The last weekend, they had the quickest ruck speed in any team in the Six Nations last weekend. Incredible. Now, you can't let a team do that. So there's different tactical elements you play on. And today, one of them was the maul. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to be that next week or the week after or wherever, the next game. So, but what we've got to do is we've got to build some strengths within this team. And that's what we're trying to do. This is the first layer, if you like. We're still on rebuilding the team. I think the fans enjoyed them all today. So I think that they certainly enjoy them all at Twickenham. I think so. I was pleased for them there. They got to see a few of them.
Was it nearly the challenge you expected?
I think you have to give Italy incredible credit. So I talked earlier about our ruck speed not being good enough. And that's not necessarily because of us. It's not because of us. It's because we're playing against a really good Italy team who slowed us down. I talked about this late in the game, conceding opportunities because Italy are a really dangerous team. And you saw that last week. You've seen it in the autumn. You saw it with them beating Wales last Six Nations. And I want to give an incredible credit there to Kieran Crowley, who he's clearly done a fantastic job. As I talk about that, how you build the team through a World Cup cycle, he's done that. He's done that superbly well as I analyse this team.
Thanks, and we'll finish with Martin. Thank you.
The first 40 minutes, you've got 3 tries, you've not conceded any points. Always were on top. Was that a real sign of what you're looking for? Is the Steve Borthwick blueprint on what this team can become? And I know it's just a start, but
no, I think it's as Owen described this as a small step forward. And I think you can see 1 or 2 small steps forward, and that's what we're going to keep doing. Is that we played against a difficult opponent today, and I thought the players handled it very, very well. There was a lot of disappointment after the result last weekend because there was an opportunity to win a game and we let it slip. But I think the players have worked hard to remedy that, and as we say, as we rebuild this team, we've got to find what works for this team. You know, today we found that the maul was successful today. It doesn't mean we're going to use the maul in 2 weeks' time, or the game after that, or the game after that. We've got to find the right plan for that game, which is hence why I talk about selection as well for each game.
But in terms of the intensity of that first half, is that what you're looking for? It seemed to be really concentrated effort, tight with not many weaknesses.
What I'm going to ask, what I ask the players to do is, and this is what I'll continue to say, I pick them because they're strong players. They've got strengths. They've got things that are great in their game, and I want them to bring those things into the England shirt and onto the field in a test match. And I back them to do that. And I think that's an important thing, because things are an important aspect, because things aren't going to be perfect. We're going to make mistakes. But I want to just ask the players then to find a way to win, whatever situation they find themselves in. They're good players. And I'm proud that I get and privileged I get the opportunity to work with them, and I was really pleased for them today.
Lovely stuff, thanks. We'll end our live section there. Writers, we're going to go downstairs for a quick writers briefing with Steve, but Italy are coming in, so you might want to split yourselves. Thank you.